Hello, welcome to the December edition of The Parish Line, a production of CGov, the Calcasieu Parish Government Channel, about the events, programs, and policies of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury. On this month's program, we'll take a look at the new FEMA flood zone maps for Calcasieu Parish, check in with the annual Toys for Tots campaign, and we'll head to our Animal Services and Adoption Center to see how they are making it even easier to select a new pet. First, we'll crunch some numbers. The Calcasieu Parish Police Jury's 2011 budget is complete. The $161.7 million revenue and spending plan will guide the police jury through the next calendar year. Parish Administrator Brian Beam presented the 352-page document to the police jury November 18th.
Three key things about the 2011 budget as proposed. It's balanced, as it has been the past 23 years, as proposed. Two, there is a focus on cost containment, while at the same time delivering value and services, so the quality is not diminished. And third, a substantial investment of capital dollars, so that while you're containing costs in the present, you're investing for the future. And we've been able to accomplish all that in the budget as the police jury has received it.
The budget is reduced from the $180 million 2010 plan by 10.2%. Beam says the budget numbers are indicative of the economic realities facing the police jury.
Yeah, the budget is reflective of our economic times, nationally and locally. So when the revenues go down, corporate profits and all the others, government entities have to adjust as well. So what we've seen in between 2009 and 2010 is a 10% decrease in sales taxes. Fortunately, we budgeted for that, and that's what it came in at, basically. Looking ahead to 2011, we are hopeful for a more optimistic, or we're optimistic for a higher sales tax revenue returns, but we've budgeted for a 5% decrease from 2010. So again, we're still in that cost containment mode. We are going to meet the budget, but it's going to be less sales tax revenue, so we're having to tap into fund balances a little bit more, but that's what they're there for, and it's important to have those when you need them. It's very important in government revenue to have diversity of sources. So sales taxes make up a good percentage. Another primary revenue is the property tax. So those balance each other well. Where the sales tax is a more volatile tax, you see it go up and down a lot, much more sensitive in terms of how the economy is doing. Property taxes, on the other hand, are more steady and stable. They actually are projected to go up about 3.5% in 2011. So it's a good offset. It'll help a great deal with any sales tax revenue decreases we may experience in 2011. Two other main sources of revenue in the budget. One is gaming, although it doesn't make up near what a lot of people think. It's a little over 6% of the budget, but it does help with some capital expenditures. And in 2011, there are a lot of grant funds related to the hurricanes. We call them hurricane recovery funds, and they're more long-term in nature. But those are going through the system now, some really good long-term, important projects for the parish, and you're going to see a lot of that in the 2011 budget.
Police jury department heads reduced overtime for parish employees, limited travel expenses, delayed or eliminated planned purchases of major equipment, and made other cuts last year after being asked by staff to seek spending reductions. Hiring has been limited to replacing essential positions, and police jury employees will not receive annual pay increases in 2011.
Actually, if you go back a full year, in the fall of 2009, we told departments we really needed to watch the spending because that's about the time, and earlier in 2009 is when we started seeing the effects locally here in southwest Louisiana. So really this whole year, but especially starting around April or May, we took some even more stringent measures to make sure costs were contained, and most of the departments have submitted budgets and cut costs this year to reflect the realities of revenue. So they've come in lower. They've been very cooperative in making sure we stay within our revenues. And so we've been very pleased with how they've worked together to come up with budgets that are still delivering good services, but are going to be less in most cases or status quo in 2011.
The budget is available for the public to view, all 352 pages, at the police jury's website, cppj.net. The document has been slightly reformatted this year to more easily identify police jury expenses and revenues rather than all the other government entities also included in the document.
Looking ahead to 2011, because of the way the police jury has managed its finances, we feel we're able to do a lot of key initiatives, even in an era of cutting budgets and maintaining costs. It's always important to invest in the parish and be thinking 10 years out, 20 years out, what is needed. And we still have some funds that we're able to do that with. At the same time, we can make sure that what we do have coming in is wisely used operationally and is well within the revenue constraints we have as a parish. But the people, I think, need to have a lot of pride in what we've tried to do here at the police jury, and the elected body presents a lot of leadership on their behalf in guiding us in what they'd like to see done, and we feel like we've honored that.
The police jury will take action to approve the 2011 budget at their final meeting this month. In the budget document are many major projects and initiatives for the police jury. Jessica Conrad takes a look at some of the biggest items on tap for 2011.
The new Seed Center building will provide the region with a centralized economic development center. The project is paid for with hurricane recovery funds.
It will be located on the McNeese campus, across from the main campus on Ryan Street, and it will house the offices of the Alliance, MCAL, Small Business Development Center, and it will have a large incubator, which is great to generate small business development, which is a focus for this area, which we really need. Very excited about that. The police jury is actually the agency over the construction.
The project is expected to be completed in fall of 2012. Burton Coliseum will receive improvements this year.
So you're going to see things like roof replacement at Burton, concession areas will be redone, the bathrooms, a lot of ADA upgrades for the handicapped, just a complete set of renovations that will make that building much more marketable. That is an economic generator for the community. We feel like there's a lot of potential for that facility, but you have to get it up to par to be able to market it around the region.
River Bluff Park will go through the design phase this year, using land the police jury previously purchased off Terrio Road in Ward 1.
It's about 25 acres. Now, some of that is wetlands, but it's a beautiful scenic area. In 2011, the police jury has actually budgeted the funds to do the design phase of that. Beyond that, it's up to the jury as far as the development costs and the phases. We're using a citizens panel to help us get input on what to put out there. And we're looking forward to that. That process has actually begun. We'll kick off in earnest in January.
Of the police jury's annual capital budget, 73% is reserved for roads. The funds cover maintenance of existing roads as well as new road construction.
One worthy of mention is the I-10 service road south of I-10, which is just south of Sulphur. And that one is actually under construction already. It will be completed in 2011. And its focus is economic development. If you go across the country, it's very common to have service roads where people pull off. Many businesses locate along interstates, and the idea is to pull off some of those drivers and generate business for the local community. So it will benefit Calcasieu Parish in terms of that. And there are other plans to look at other opportunities for that type of road in the future.
Hurricane recovery funds have been budgeted for some major drainage projects in 2011.
Drainage is another area that parishes, often through drainage districts, are involved with, and this is a very big year coming up for drainage, mainly because we have some hurricane recovery funds that the police jury has decided to utilize for major drainage projects we've needed to do for years. A couple of examples would be the High Hope drainage project, which is north of Sulphur on the west side of the river. That's been needed for a long time. Many residences there have experienced some flooding, and this will address that problem. Moss Bluff also has a lot of drainage projects to be performed in 2011 and really throughout the parish. As much as $6 million plus will be invested in large drainage projects, and this follows a comprehensive study where we modeled the whole parish in terms of what's needed for drainage. So we know this is good money being spent that will be effective.
One of two initiatives that don't require major funding but will have a high impact on how the parish operates is the Unified Development Code. The purpose of the code is to support business and residential growth in an orderly way.
We have codes right now that are spread all throughout our ordinance book, and frankly it makes it hard for the development community and others to know what all is to be followed. So this effort will package all of that in one place. A citizens review panel is also helping us with that to make sure all of their input is given. And that is a big initiative we hope to complete in 2011, and will go a long way toward ensuring that the growth we have in the parish is sustainable over time.
Another initiative that will have a high impact on the parish is redistricting. All of the districts on the state and parish level will have to be redrawn based upon census data.
We have a police jury election in 2011, and this all has to be done and pre-cleared with the U.S. Justice Department prior to the qualifying for any candidates. So it'll be an accelerated schedule in 2011, but it affects the whole parish, and we'll have to complete that process probably in late April or early May.
For the Parish Line, I'm Jessica Conrad.
Gaming funds have been put in reserve for potential sewerage projects. The police jury has no sewerage projects planned in 2011, but anticipates improvements in the near future. Calcasieu Parish Animal Services is making it easier to view and decide on a pet that will fit in perfectly with your family. Here's CGov's Molly Morgan.
For those of you hard at work 7 days a week and can't make it to Animal Services to find that perfect dog or cat for you and your family, do away with those concerns for now. Calcasieu Parish Animal Services is making your life easier and stress-free with Pet Finder. Assistant Director for the Calcasieu Parish Animal Services and Adoption Center, Tiffany Gardner, explains.
We have a website that's nationally used that we utilize here in Lake Charles, and it's www.petfinder.com. You can go to that website and punch in your zip code, and whenever you hit the button, it'll take you to all the adoptable animals here in Lake Charles at the shelter. And it'll show you pictures. It's got about 3 pictures of each animal. Sometimes we'll have video. It'll give you if they're potty trained, if they're good with families, good with dogs, good with kids, good with cats. Give you a little description, give you their age, and tell you if they're spayed or neutered. Just a little brief bio of the dog so you can get ahead of time, or the cats, and give you a little ahead of time heads up so whenever you come in you kind of know what you're looking for.
Adoptions can't be done online, but any questions you might have can be.
They can't do the adoption, they can ask questions. When they can request a question, they'll send an email to me, and I answer those questions as soon as they come in. So you can ask if there's something unanswered, or make sure the animal's still there before you come up there. We'll respond and let you know anything you need to know about him.
Information on all animals is updated daily, and you can check them out on Facebook as well.
We now have a Facebook page under Calcasieu Parish Animal Services, and we put updates daily with new pictures of new animals. We update with who's got adopted and put their little picture up, and just kind of give you a little heads up of what's going on. Different events we have going on, you can find that on the page, and you can write us, and if you've adopted an animal, you can send us their pictures and tell us how they're doing. Just kind of a way to stay in touch with the community.
To find that perfect dog or cat, visit petfinder.com or the parish website at cppj.net, or you can call 721-3730. For the Parish Line, I'm Molly Morgan.
During the past 2 weeks, 18 pets have been adopted through visits on Facebook and Pet Finder. You are watching the December edition of The Parish Line, a production of CGov, the Calcasieu Parish Government Channel, about the events, programs, and policies of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury. Calcasieu Parish homeowners have been waiting 6 years for the release of FEMA's new flood zone maps. J.P. Booth tells us they are finally here.
After 6 long years of waiting, Calcasieu Parish has finally received its new flood insurance rate maps. These maps help insurance companies decide if they're going to require a homeowner to have flood insurance and what those rates would be.
The parish has been waiting a long time for these new flood maps, and what it really means to the citizens is that we're getting maps that are much more accurate, and a lot of the areas have changed since Hurricane Rita. So FEMA's went in there and looked at those areas and have changed some of the areas to make it to show what the real risk is. So some people will, their properties will be changing as far as the risk from low risk to high risk. The way FEMA rates it is that they consider all properties in a flood zone. It's just if you're considered in a low risk or moderate risk or high risk. And so everyone technically in Calcasieu Parish is in a low risk zone of some sort. But the high risk people are the ones that are usually near the water bodies. and are areas that have some poor drainage. And FEMA statistics, actually about 25% of the flood claims they get are people that are not in the high-risk areas because of localized drainage problems or whatever. So it's always kind of best to be kind of safe than sorry thing as far as if you have any idea that there's a flooding issue in your area, to obtain flood insurance.
Residents who have changed from a non-flood hazard area to a special flood hazard area are urged to contact their insurance companies now and lock in their insurance rates.
The new maps are going to be effective February 18th, 2011. So between now and then, you need to speak with your insurance agent and see what flood zone that you're in, what your premium that you're paying now, or if you don't have insurance, to possibly purchase insurance. Because if you are able to lock into the rate now before the maps become effective in February, then you're going to save money. Okay. So it really is in your best interest to go ahead and purchase flood insurance now. And again, if you're going to be changing from one zone to the next zone, you know, you may have a savings too, so it may be working in the reverse. You may be going from high risk to low risk, so you'll want to know that also so you can get a reduction in your rate. And on top of all that, the parish is also participating in the community rating system, so the citizens already currently receive a 10% discount on their flood insurance premiums. So, and the parish is also striving to get a 15% discount, but that may not take effect until next year either. But we're hoping to help the citizens to save more on their funds. On the outreach, it is a citizen's responsibility, but the parish has also identified where all the people that are going from the low risk zones to the high risk zones, and so we're attempting to be sending out letters to let them know that their property will be changing, and that they may want to contact their flood insurance agent to find out about the flood insurance rates, what it would be for them. So we're hoping to, help people out, because a lot of times this time of the year people get busy with other things they kind of forget about, and we don't want them to miss that opportunity. We feel we have an opportunity for them to save money right now, and we want to help them do that.
For the Parish Line, I'm J.P. Booth.
The newly revised flood zone maps go into effect February 18, 2011. One of the police jury's favorite projects each year is the annual Toys for Tots campaign. Margaret Higgins fills us in.
It's Christmas time, and children are filled with excitement waiting to find toys under the tree. For some children, toys aren't easy to come by. To help make those children have a much brighter Christmas is the United States Marine Corps Toys for Tots Foundation, funded locally in part by the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury. Toys for Tots coordinator, Commandant John Lamore, tells us more.
Toys for Tots is one of the largest organizations for kids in the world. It was founded in 1947, and we're still rolling when it comes to kids. And this was adopted by the Marine Corps in California by Major Abinger. And from that day on, then it went to Congress. Congress passed it as an organization that is a legit organization for the Marine Corps.
Calcasieu Parish Police Jury President Kevin Guidry explains why the police jury helps to fund the Toys for Tots Foundation.
One of the things that we've done for a number of years is for always giving back to Toys for Tots, because we know the seriousness and the effect that it has on so many kids in Calcasieu Parish. And, we would just hate to see any kid in Calcasieu Parish wake up one morning and not have any toys under the Christmas tree. So we decided as a governing body to give Mr. John Lamore and his detachment a grand total check for $20,000. So that's going to help some kids here in Calcasieu Parish have a wonderful Christmas. And I think, when we were small, there were a lot of things that we got that wasn't along the lines of real gifts and stuff like that. But we want to make sure that there are kids here in Calcasieu Parish don't feel the hurt of waking up and not having anything for Christmas, because that's a hurtful feeling, I think, for any child. So we're hoping that that's going to benefit so many kids throughout Calcasieu Parish.
Office of Community Services Director Randy Vincent tells us their role.
OCS is involved in the administrative aspect for the Toys for Tots campaign. We assist the Marine Corps with registering the families and the children. We assist them obviously with the distribution on the day that we choose to give out the toys. And we also assist them through our facilities management department, which is all part of what we do, to make sure that the toys are moved from the warehouse to the distribution site, and wherever they need us to assist with picking up toys from some of your major drop-off points, we get involved in that. And more importantly, I think we get involved with strategizing about the best way to carry out the event and the best way to distribute the toys to the children. The police jury has done a great thing in terms of getting involved because it goes along with the parish mission. The part of the parish's mission is to serve the needs of our citizens. And OCS is involved in meeting the needs of those folks who are in need of everything from transportation to health care, basic health care services, food products, and energy assistance. We have a lot of different things that we're involved in. So a lot of the same families that we serve through our regular programmatic activities are some of the same people that we serve through Tots for Tots. So being involved in the program fits right in, and it's just a good feeling. It's a lot of hard work because there's, it's just something that we do every year to help out. But it's gratifying in that on that day we distribute those toys. You can't imagine how you make these children feel, and even a lot of the parents who know that without this type of event, they wouldn't be able to deliver or provide toys for their children. So to see their faces and the faces of the children is priceless. So it's a good thing that our police jurors and our administrators, our administrator, Brian Beam, decides each year to do this, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. I know our staff is as well.
This year, the United States Marine Corps kicked off the Toys for Tots campaign with the Marine Corps Silent Drill Team, performing locally at Sulphur High School and McNeese State University during halftime ceremonies. For the Parish Line, I'm Margaret Higgins.
Donations for the drop-off boxes will be accepted until December 27th. Businesses that request a Toys for Tots box will have the drop-off box available in their stores year-round. That's the Parish Line for the month of December. Thanks for tuning in. And if you'd like details on any of the stories on this month's program or to watch the Parish Line on the web, go to cppj.net.